Chapter 3783. Under the guidance of the snow-white ape-man, Jen Wushuang soon crossed the last dozens of steps and really appeared on the peak of this peak. The peak of Mount Qiantian is already the highest point of the first heavy sky in the red cloud world. If you stand under the peak of Mount Qiantian and look up, it is unattainable. But when he really stood on the peak, Jen Wushuang looked down for the first time, but found that his sight was completely blocked, and he couldn't see everything under the peak. After arriving at the summit, Jen Wushuang immediately saw a bald old man standing in the center of the summit, wearing a luxurious silver robe like crystal. The bald old man with his hands on his back and a gentle smile on his face makes people feel kind at first sight. Jen Wushuang saw this bald old man for the first time, and couldn't help but feel warm, and immediately felt a little more favorable to him. Master Fog. Snow White Ape Man salutes respectfully. Blood Sword, I've seen Master Wu. Sword Wushuang naturally respected him. You go down first. Lord Bald, the old man, glanced at the Snow White Ape Man. Yes. The Snow White Ape Man did not dare to violate it, and immediately turned away. Above the peak, only Jen Wushuang and this bald old man, Master Wu, were left. Blood Sword, this is your name. Master Wu looked at Jen Wushuang, with a smile on his mouth. It is rare for someone to be able to come here at the level of the Rule Master, although you are the perfect life and able to break through. The test of Tianfeng has something to do with your level of life, but your own strength, your understanding of Kendo, and your various means are also extremely strong. Jen Wushuang's expression moved, but his heart was not surprised. He has a perfect level of life. Most people can't see it, but as long as he releases his full strength, he displays life powers and celestial spells. You must know that these two mysteries can inspire their own life level advantages as much as possible. As long as the two mysteries are performed, with the vision of this haze, naturally, you can see your own level of life at a glance. Let's say aside the level of life, your talents should be first class in the vast universe. If you add the level of life, you can say enough about the top geniuses in the universe. Such geniuses even in the depths of the universe, it is enough for many forces to take it seriously. Adult ridiculous. Jen Wushuang is very humble, but he is very confused. His own talent, including the perfect level of life, is only just to pay attention to those forces deep in the universe. This cannot help but make Jen Wushuang more curious about the deepest part of the universe, where there are many incredible geniuses. Under normal circumstances, a genius like you who has passed the test of stepping on the peak of the sky can become a disciple of his master. Although he is only a disciple outside, he can also get benefits that you could never imagine before, as well as various cultivation of all kinds of resources, but unfortunately the vein of the owner has long since vanished. Even the master has died. The countless strong men of His Majesty have died, fled, and wandered. Even the Master's kingdom of God has completely collapsed, and the Red Cloud Realm has raged through the universe and came to this place. Now, in the Red Cloud Realm, there is only a small part of the resources left by the original host to serve as rewards, so naturally you will not have so much. Master Wu said softly. Hearing the words of this misty man, the sword has no double-faced color, but it is quiet, but it has been secretly booing. In fact, he had already guessed that the founder of the Red Cloud Realm should have fallen, otherwise the Red Cloud Realm would not have been here forever. The test that exists in the Red Cloud Realm is likely to be the original Red Cloud Realm owner used to screen disciples. It was only with the death of the Red Cloud Realm Master that the Red Cloud Realm floated here. Although there was no support from the Red Cloud Realm, the misty man who dominated everything in the Red Cloud Realm still obeyed his master's order and continued to be a pulse pick's disciples. Although you can't get the treatment that the disciple outside the host deserves, but since you have passed the test of stepping on the peak, you can still get some benefits. Master Wu finished, and waved. The void on his side was torn apart suddenly, and a space channel appeared in front of the sword without two sides. Blood Sword, come with me. Master Wu stepped into this sudden space channel. Jen Wushuang did not hesitate too much, followed this misty master, and also marched into this space channel. The light flickered, and when it appeared again, Jen Wushuang had already reached a vast land. This land is still a red, and there are still red clouds rolling over it, just like most environments in the first heavy sky of the red cloud world. But the power of Jian Wushuang's soul looked around, but it was the first time he figured out where he was. Island? I'm on an island now? Jian Wushuang was shocked. This is Hongyun Island, and it can also be said to be the second heaviest sky in the Red Cloud realm. The second day? Jian Wushuang was startled. Sure enough, Hongyunji has a second sky, but this second sky seems to be very different from the first sky. The Red Cloud realm has a triple sky. The first sky has 7 continents, of which the 7th continent where Tatian Peak is located is the core. It has a vast area. Even if compared with an astral world, it is not too bad. The second day has no such vast area and territory as the first day. This second day has only one island, which is the island where you are now, and the total area of this island is counted. But hundreds of thousands of miles. Master Wu whispered. As for the third sky of the Red Cloud realm, it is even smaller. It is said that it is the third sky, but in fact there is only one simple platform on the third sky. The high platform is very common, but it is very difficult to really set foot on that platform. Do you have to pass the test? Jian Wushuang couldn't help but look at Master Wu. Yes. Master Wu nodded. There are 2 tests in the Red Cloud realm. These 2 tests correspond to the tests of the disciples and the disciples respectively. If you pass the test of the first step on the sky, you can enter the first. On the second sky, you will also be qualified as an outsider disciple. In this second sky, there will also be a second test. That is for the inner disciples. You must pass the test here to enter the third sky. Is that so? Sword unparalleled. At the same time, he also understood that the test of stepping on the peak of the first day alone was so difficult, and he tried his best to pass all the cards before he could barely pass. As for the test of the second day, the difficulty must be even greater. If the strength to break through, the possibility of passing is very small. Emperor Zhou. Chapter 3784. Little guy, I told you so much. You're afraid you don't even know who the master is. Master Wu stared at Jian Wushuang. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded. Look, the owner, the real host name, of course, almost no one knows this name in the universe. Most people only know the title of the owner, the ancestor of the Red Cloud. The appearance of awe and worship appeared on Lord Wu. The owner is a supremely powerful man, and an extremely powerful supreme one. He personally created the vein of Red Cloud and even opened up a kingdom of God. Is it really supreme? Jian Wushuang was not surprised. As for opening up the kingdom of God, Jian Wushuang didn't go to the depths of the universe. He didn't know what the kingdom of God was, but looking at the meaning of Lord Wu's words, it should be a great thing to open up the kingdom of God. Extremely powerful, how strong? Jian Wushuang could not help asking. It's very strong. At the supreme level, the master is already considered to be top level enough to run the universe. However, there were too many top-level strong players who participated in the war at that time. There are many people, such as Lingyun Supreme, the king of the Double Throat, and the ancestral demon ancestors who can dominate the universe. These are all superpowers above the master. The master died in the hands of the ancestor demon ancestors, even God. The collapse of the country's complete bombardment. Oh, Master Wu could not help but sigh. When hearing the words of Lord Wu, Jian Wushuang's heart immediately had many ideas. Supreme Lingyun, King of the Throat, and Demon of Battles. He may not know the King of the Double Throat and the ancestor of the 100 Battles, but he knows Lingling Supreme. You know, he is now a disciple of Ling Yunxing. Listen to what the Lord Fog said. Many years ago, an extremely violent war should have erupted in the depths of the universe. Those wars will kill even the Supreme, and Lingyun Supreme and this Red Cloud ancestor participated in that battle. As a result, the ancestor of Red Cloud died in that battle. As for Lingyun Supreme, perhaps it was also severely hit in that battle, that caused Ling Yunxing to suffer in a vein. Jian Wushuang thought secretly. At the same time, I finally understood why there are 3 battlefields in this star field. According to his estimation, it is very likely that the first battle was too earth-shattering and caused the collapse of the kingdoms of God. Among them, the kingdom of God was swallowed up by the broken universe and then drifted into this star field, and the red clouds it is estimated that the secret place where Ling Yunxing is located is also drifting over. The Lord had tremendous strength before his life. He created a vein of red cloud with a complete disciple cultivation system, and this red cloud world was specifically to select suitable disciples for the host. At the beginning, the vast universe did not know how many talented disciples came to the red cloud world. Desire to pass the test of the red cloud realm and become a disciple of the red cloud realm. Even if it's just an outsider disciple, it's enough for countless days to furiously fight. At that time, our red cloud realm would occasionally select some outsider disciples, and even insider disciples, but since that war, this is where the red cloud realm drifts. Although I have always followed my responsibilities, I have been selecting disciples for the red cloud realm. But up to now, only you have successfully passed the test of climbing the Tianfeng Peak. You guys, you are a self-reliant person. You were the first person to pass the test of stepping on the sky. Although you can't get the treatment of a disciple outside Hongyun, but this is the benefit that Hongyun should have. I'll never will be less of you. Master Wu said, just by waving his hand, one order immediately appeared, floating in front of Jian Wushuang, and there were 36 orders. According to the rules established by the host at the beginning, whoever comes to this second day through the test of stepping on the peak of the sky, not only can he enjoy the vast opportunities of this second day, but also the 30 among the 6 mysteries, choose one practice at will. Little one, you can choose one of these 36 charms at will. Mist humane. Looking at the 36 writs floating in front of himself, it is clear that each of the 36 writs records a secret technique. This mystery comes from the vein of Hongyun, and the ancestor of the original red cloud was so powerful and powerful. Any of these 36 mysteries is not trivial. But knowing that, Jian Wushuang was not happy. Master Wu, the reward after passing the test of Tianfeng, is this the only thing? Jian Wushuang frowned. Why, you are not satisfied yet? Master Wu suddenly stared. Boy, I'm afraid you don't know yet. Of these 36 mysteries, any one of them is an extremely precious treasure of red clouds, created by the owner himself. Also plundered from the hands of some other supreme strong, any one of these mysteries is enough to cause countless masters to compete frantically, and even some weaker supremacy will be dazzled. You are not content? No, no. Jian Wushuang shook his head again and again. The junior did not mean that, nor was it because it was not good to discard the 36 mysteries, but there was actually a major reason why the juniors came to climb Tianfeng. That's because I need a special treasure, and this treasure may be in the red cloud realm. Oh, what treasure? Master Wu looked over. Bingxin glazed jade is a special treasure that can make the body of glazed. Jian Wushuang solemnly said. He really longed for Bingxin glazed jade, which was the treasure for rebuilding the body of his wife. He was so eager for this red cloud realm not only because of the opportunities in this red cloud realm, but also because the treasures in this red cloud realm were endless. It is likely that there is Bingxin glazed jade, so he thought so desperately. To pass the test of Tianfeng, he thought he would have the opportunity to get the Bingxin glazed jade after passing the test of stepping on Tianfeng, but he did not expect that the reward he received after stepping on Tianfeng was just one of the 36 mysteries. Indeed, these 36 mysteries are very powerful, and any one of them is worth more than Bingxin glazed jade, but he really desires to get Bingxin glazed jade. Bingxin glazed jade? Master Wu frowned slightly. There is no such thing in Hongyun realm. What? The sword changed without any color. No. There are endless treasures in the red cloud realm, countless opportunities and treasures. How could there be no Bingxin glazed jade? Jian Wushuang couldn't believe it. I am in charge of everything in the red cloud realm, and I can tell you for sure that although there are many treasures left by the host in the red cloud realm, including all kinds of geniuses and treasures, there is indeed no Bingxin Liuliu said jade. Lord Wu was very sure. End of this chapter. Chapter 3785. No. Jian Wushuang's head was a little cyanosis, and his heart was full of unwillingness. He went through the Tianfeng Peak with great pains. The main purpose was to get the Bingxin glazed jade, but now the grown-up mister told him not, which made him accept. I can see that you need Bingxin glass jade very much. Master Wu saw a deep glance at Jian Wushuang, but followed with a smile. You don't need to be nervous, Bingxing Glass Jade. There is no such thing in this red cloud world, but this red cloud world there is something in it that can replace Bingxing Glazed Jade, and its effect is even better than that of Bingxing Glazed Jade. Huh. Jian Wushuang looked over immediately. Little guy, you are eager to get Bingxin Liuli, for whom should you reshape the body? Master Wu asked. Yes, it's for my wife. Jian Wushuang said. No wonder. Master Wu knew, Bingxin Glazed Jade can shape the glazed body. This glazed body can be shaped as you like, but the glazed body itself is not a very extraordinary physique. After shaping it, it is the same as ordinary practitioners, at most it has a slight advantage. But in my red cloud realm, there is a special treasure that is also used to shape the divine body, called the Heart of the Astral Realm. Heart of the Astral Realm? Jian Wushuang looked. It was the first time he had heard of the treasure. The Heart of the Astral World, as the name suggests, is the core of one astral world, which contains the essence of the billions of years of one astral world and has incredible effects. It is naturally easy to use this astral heart to shape a body. The divine body shaped by the heart is far stronger than the so-called glazed body. Under normal circumstances, if a practitioner has absorbed the astral heart, it will be easy for him to become the master in the future, and even the chance of becoming supreme will be very high, and the astral heart contains a star, the endless essence of the realm, including the vast vitality of this side of the astral world, so if the astral body is condensed with the heart of the astral body, the vitality of the condensed divine body will be extremely powerful, and its ability to recover is much faster than that of ordinary practitioners' times. Lord Mist said. Jian Wushuang was shocked when he heard the words of Lord Wu. Astral heart contains endless vitality. And after cultivating the heart of the astral world, will it have great potential to become the master easily? This astral heart is too good. Stronger than Bingxin Liuli, I don't know how many times. Shuang'er's own strength is too weak. I was worried before, even if Bingxin Liuliu had shaped her body, but she had to practice step by step. She didn't know how long it would take to reach the rule, let alone dominate. But if you can get the heart of this astral world, it will be much easier. Jian Wushuang clenched his hands, his heart was extremely excited. Master Fog, can I replace the reward for breaking through Tianfeng to the heart of the astral world? Jian Wushuang asked. Change the heart of the astral world? You want to be beautiful. Master Wu sneered. Little guy, I just told you the usefulness of this heart of the astral world. You should also be able to hear it. This heart of the astral world is very rare treasures, even in the vast universe, are extremely precious. After all, the heart of the astral world is the core of one astral world. In the process of astral evolution, it is sheltered by the laws of the universe. No one can take it out. Only when an astral world evolves to the end and destroys itself, the heart of the world will only stay, and not every astral world that evolves to the end will leave the heart of the astral world, but thousands of astral worlds evolve to the end, only then will there be an astral world heart is left. The most important thing is that the astral heart left behind will only return to the universe when the universe is empty for less than a month. If no one finds this astral heart within this month, or it is impossible to collect it with special treasures, and the heart of the astral world is also gone. Because of this, the heart of the astral world is extremely rare in the universe, and its value is extremely expensive. Under normal circumstances, all the net worth of a master of the 4th series and even the 5th series are not comparable. An astral heart, and this is just the price of the astral heart, but the astral heart is too rare in the universe. Even if you can afford it, someone has to sell it. The words of Lord Wu left Jian Wushuang stunned. Although he had previously guessed that the astral heart might be of great value, he did not expect that it would be so precious. Even the net worth dominated by the 4th and 5th series may not be able to reach the heart of an astral world, and it is priceless. Suddenly, Jian Wushuang frowned. Master Mist, although the heart of the astral world is very precious, any one of the 36 mysteries of the Red Cloud is enough to make countless masters crazy. The value of these mysteries should be returned above the astral heart. At least it should be almost right. Well, you're right. These 36 mysteries are accumulated over a long period of time and are of immense value. Even if you come up with a mystery, Its value can be compared with the heart of the astral world. Master Wu nodded slightly and followed the conversation. But the test and the corresponding rewards in the Red Cloud realm were set before the Lord's life. Although the owner is now dead, no one can change the rules he has set. Naturally, I can't change it. You have crossed the Tianfeng Peak, and the reward you get is only one of the 36 mysteries, and the second chance in heaven. You can also get it, but other things, like the heart of the astral world, it can't be obtained by stepping on the peak of the sky. Of course, you can continue to work hard to find a way to pass the test of the second heaven. As long as you can pass the test of the second heaven, then you will be able to go to the third heaven, and at the same time, you can become a disciple of Hongyun's veins. Among all the treasures in the Red Cloud realm, pick any 3 of them, and then you will be able to choose the heart of the astral world as one of the rewards for humanity. Only through the test of the second sky can I get the heart of the astral world. The sword has no double-sided color. In the first test of the sky alone, the Tianfeng sword Wushuang has already exerted all his strengths. And the test of the second day, although he has not yet made it, it can be imagined that it will be more difficult than the first day. He wants to break through now. I'm afraid it's crazy. You guys, don't worry too much. What you have to do now is to choose one of these 36 mysteries, and then use some opportunities in this second day to find ways to improve your strength. The test of the second sky is 100 times more difficult than the first sky, and your talent may not be able to break through in the future. End of this chapter. Chapter 3786, Future. The sword did not sink in 2 sides. Master, you also know that I am a practitioner of this star field, and the Red Cloud realm usually has been born once in hundreds of millions of years in this star field. Each time it is born, it is only for 10,000 years. The birth of the Red Cloud realm has almost passed 8,000 years. That is to say, I have only 2,000 years left. How can I say the future? Do we have to wait for the Red Cloud realm? Born next time? You don't have to worry about this. Master Wu smiled. It is true that the Red Cloud world will be born once in hundreds of millions of years in this star field, and each birth is irregular. Of course, this depends mainly on my mood. When I think I will be born, when will I be born, and the same, whoever I want to enter into the Red Cloud realm, he will be able to enter. Heh. Jian Wushuang looked at Master Wu immediately. If you failed to pass the test of stepping Tianfeng before, then after you missed this time, you want to enter the Red Cloud realm. Indeed, you have to wait hundreds of millions of years, but now you have passed the test of stepping Tianfeng. It is already Red Cloud. There is a disciple outside the gate. Then naturally you can enter and exit the Red Cloud realm at will. Before you leave the Red Cloud realm, I will give you a token. Through the token you can easily find the entrance of the Red Cloud realm and enter the Red Cloud realm. Inside. Master Wu laughed. Hearing this, Jian Wushuang immediately rejoiced. Master Wu, do you mean that I can go in and out of this Red Cloud world at any time in the future? Jian Wushuang said excitedly. Yes. Master Wu nodded. Of course, you usually enter the Red Cloud realm through the entrance, then there will be no treasure in this Red Cloud realm. The treasure was born. Master Wu, those treasures born in the Red Cloud realm, were you deliberately guided? Jian Wushuang asked. It's me. Lord Wu directly admitted. The purpose of the existence of Red Cloud realm is to select suitable disciples for the main person. To choose disciples, one must attract a steady stream of talented geniuses, and how to attract them, it depends on these born treasures. That's the way it is. Jian Wushuang knew. How many precious treasures have been born in the Red Cloud realm in these epochs? Jian Wushuang was amazed inside. You know, the Red Cloud realm already has several epochs in this star field. Although it will open once every hundreds of millions of years, a few epochs will come down, and I am afraid that it has opened hundreds of times. And every time the Red Cloud realm is opened, there will be countless precious treasures born in the first day. For 10,000 years, even if an average of one precious treasure is born in a year in the Red Cloud realm, that is tens of thousands of precious treasures. The Red Cloud realm opens hundreds of times, that is millions of treasures. In addition, among these treasures, there is no shortage of peak treasures or even the strongest treasures. The vein of Hongyun, although it was once brilliant, is now declining anyway. even the ancestor of Hongyun is dead, but there are so many treasures in this red cloud world. As if seeing the thought of Jian Wushuang, Master Wu smiled and said, "Little guy, don't you think that the number of these treasures is very scary, but in fact, the value of these treasures is pathetic, these few opportunities come." The Red Cloud realm has been opened hundreds of times and a total of millions of treasures have been born. However, when all these millions of treasures are added up, their value is at best equivalent to one or two relatively good rules. The rule of treasures? Jian Wushuang stunned. What is the rule of treasures? Don't you know? Master Wu looked at Jian Wushuang in surprise, and saw Jian Wushuang shaking his head, but smiled. It seems that your star field is really too remote, not even the rule of treasure. The rule of treasure is the treasure that has been blessed by the laws of the universe. The power is extremely powerful, far above the general treasure, and the conditions that the rule of treasure wants to exhibit are also very high. Under normal circumstances, you must master a breath of the law of the universe to be able to barely master it, but just barely master it. As for the power of the rule of arcs, you must have a certain understanding of the laws of the universe. In the vast universe, the value of the rule of the treasure is extremely high. Any low-level rule of the treasure can be exchanged for hundreds of strongest treasures. Like most of the masters in the universe, even the masters of the second and third series are mostly ruleless treasures, but the masters above the fourth series have good luck and may get one or two. But the master of the fourth series, as long as he doesn't feel a trace of the law of the universe, can't exert the power of the rule of treasure. Of course, even if he can't exert the power, the rule of the universe's own rule of blessing is blessed. It can still increase its own strength. Jian Wushuang heard, his heart was shocked. The rule is precious. The vast universe, the treasures used by top powerhouses, even the rule of the lowest level, the treasure, has its own rules of the universe. Must you understand the rules of the universe to be able to exert its power? Any rule of treasure is worth more than hundreds of thousands of strongest treasures. God! Jian Wushuang couldn't help but marvel. He had also received a piece of the strongest flying treasure and the strongest precious treasure in the Red Cloud realm before the crisis, but now he blinked that he knew the existence of the rule precious treasure. He immediately understood that he had always been watching the sky. The strongest treasure, in this star field, is indeed a good treasure, enough to make the strong dominate the crazy battle. But when it is placed in the vast universe, it is nothing. Only the rule of treasure is the thing used by the true strong. You understand now? Master Wu looked at Jian Wushuang with interest, but millions of ordinary treasures, let alone the superpowers at the level of the master, even a supreme one, would not care, and that war, the master fell, the kingdom of God collapsed, countless practitioners in the kingdom of God died, and their treasures were also retained, many of them were absorbed by the Red Cloud realm, so in the Red Cloud realm, such a treasure, many yes, there are hundreds of millions. I just want to control the existence of these treasures only for the long-term existence of the Red Cloud realm. Jian Wushuang heard, but his heart sighed endlessly. In this star field, the masters of countless rules, including many masters, are furiously fighting in the Red Cloud realm, in order to compete for those treasures, especially the strongest. Several chances came down, and for these supreme treasures, he died without knowing how many strong ones, but whoever thought that this star field is vying for the treasures that the strong are madly fighting for, and in the eyes of this misty adult, it is such garbage. Yes, it's garbage. M. Chapter 3787. Jian Wushuang imagined that hundreds of millions of various treasures were piled up together, and his head could not help but faint. Hundreds of millions of pieces. No wonder this Mr. Dare to be so luxurious. Every time the Red Cloud realm is opened, tens of thousands of treasures are born. It turns out that these treasures are so worthless in the eyes of Master Wu. Little guy, you also got a lot of treasures when you were on the first heavy day, right? One of them is a wing treasure, right? Master Wu looked over. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded, thinking of his own Shuangguang Ji Tianyi, but he couldn't help smiling. Xian Guang Tianyi, the strongest flying class treasure. What a surprise he was when I got this Shuangguang Shen Tianyi, especially when he felt the power of Shuangguang Shen Tianyi, he was very happy. And because of this relationship between Shuangguang and Tianyi, his strength has been greatly improved. But now that I know the existence of the rule of treasures, Zhen Wushuang felt that Shen Guang's Tianyi was in the eyes of the top powerhouse. Well, the feather wing treasure you got in the first heavy day is actually pretty good. Wu Tai humane. Good. Master Wushuang looked at him. I haven't known how many years the red cloud has been destroyed. The red cloud realm has opened in this star field, and there have been several epochs. In this long time, because of boredom, I have made hundreds of millions of treasures in Red Cloud Realm. Hierarchical divisions have been made, and most of these hundreds of millions of treasures have been classified by me as the lowest, that is, the level of garbage. Starfields like yours call it the elementary universe, the higher universe, the top universe, and the peak universe. These are all rubbish. Wu Tai humane. And your starfield calls it the strongest cosmic treasure, and I can barely classify it into the ordinary category. Although this kind of ordinary treasure is useless to me, it is barely enough. The first and second ranks dominated. As for ordinary, I also divided the category of best of class. As the name suggests, these are the so-called universe's strongest treasures, some of which are more powerful and perhaps more special, and can be taken by me. Treasures that belong to the category of best of class are barely able to enter my eyes, and the value is naturally much higher than the ordinary strongest treasure. Like ordinary treasures, there are thousands of them, and maybe they are barely comparable to the lowest rule of treasure, and there are dozens of treasures at the level of necessary. It is estimated that it is comparable to a most inferior rule. There are many low-level and even high-level treasures in the Red Cloud Realm, but there are only hundreds of them that can be classified by me as the best grade ones. I do usually have hundreds of such treasure-level treasures. It's easy to throw it out for you to snatch, but it's only after the Red Cloud Realm opens every few times. And this time, I just threw out a superb treasure, that wing, which you finally got. Upon hearing the words of Master Wu, Zhen Wushuang's eyes lit up instantly. He had just been hit hard, thinking that he had gotten Shuangguang Yantianyi, and that was it. But now it seems that this black light is not bad. Although it is far from the rule of the treasure, at least it is also the treasure of the highest level, much stronger than the so-called strongest treasure, and the Lord said, like this, the treasure of the highest level, you can make up dozens of pieces and barely exchange them. One of the lowest ranks of the magic circle is precious. In other words, Zhuangguang's maggot Tianyi, anyhow, is equivalent to a few tenths of a rule of treasure, which is already very good. Your starfield is too remote in the end. I am afraid that I am not qualified to contact the strong at all, and naturally I am not qualified to contact those powerful treasures. Therefore, these low-level and ordinary treasures are regarded as you. Baby, scramble for this, but if you go deeper into the universe in the future, you do have to go too far. As long as you reach the slightly larger starfield, you will understand how narrow your vision is. With a smile, Zhen Wushuang swaggered his lips, and his heart was upset, but he could not refute it. Yes, like this low-level, ordinary level of treasure, I have more in the Red Cloud world. Should I give you a few? Master Wu looked at Zhen Wushuang with interest. This level of treasure, they were all absorbed from the kingdom of God at the beginning, not left by the master. As long as you want, I can be the master directly to you. Of course I want. Zhen Wushuang immediately showed excitement. Although I now know the existence of the rule of the treasure, knowing that these so-called strongest treasures are so, but anyway, the strongest treasure is absolutely rare in this starfield, and it is absolutely enough for many masters to furiously compete. Maybe he doesn't lack the strongest treasure now, but his friends are lacking. For example, there are no strongest treasures in the Shen Shinto, the Lord of the Heavens, the Lord of Time and Space, and the Heavenly Ancestor. There are also many high-level powers in the early divine realm. If this time he can take a bunch of the strongest Jibao to return from the Red Cloud Realm, the highest level of combat power in the entire early divine realm should be able to improve a great step. When the star battles, the confidence will be even greater. Haha, look at your eager look. Okay, when you are planning on the Red Cloud Realm, I will take you to select. Although the treasure of the highest level will not give you too much, but the ordinary level and the lower level, you take hundreds of pieces are not a problem. Master Wu laughed. Sword warriors rejoice. Mr. Kawu followed and said, Little guy, you are already a disciple of Hongyun's veins. You have to have a higher vision. Some ordinary treasures are not worth your joy. What really matters now is the rule of law. The rule of treasure. Jian Wushuang moved inwardly. Master Wu, I have the opportunity to get the rule of treasure in this red cloud world, right? Of course. Master Wu nodded. Did I tell you before, as long as you pass the second-day test of Red Cloud Realm and become a disciple of Red Cloud's inner circle, there are many treasures in Red Cloud Realm. You can pick 3 of them at will. And the treasures in the Red Cloud Realm are all left by the owner at the beginning. Although they are only left by the owner at random, the number is not large, but there are hundreds of pieces, but any one is enough to make the 4th grade or even the 5th level of the domineering eyes are crazy, and the rule of treasure is as many as dozens of pieces. Then you can choose whatever you need. Of course, the premise is that you can pass the second sky test of Red Cloud World. Emperor Zhou. Chapter 3788. Jian Wushuang was instantly excited when he heard it. The treasure left by the ancestor of Red Cloud in the Red Cloud Realm. Although there are only hundreds of items, any one is worth a lot, which is enough to make the masters of the 4th and 5th series crazy. As long as you pass the test of the second heaven, you can choose 3 of these treasures. The test of the second day, I must pass. Jian Wu's eyes flashed an unprecedented desire. Not only for the rule of treasure, the most important thing is that the astral heart that can make his wife cold as frost to restore the body of God, must also pass the test of the second heaven to get it. For his wife, this second-day test, he must break through anyway. It is good to be determined. Master Wu looked at Jian Wushuang, but poured a basin of cold water on Jian Wushuang appropriately. But the test of the second heaven is extraordinary. Although you pass the test of the first heaven, you are also very talented in speaking, belongs to the top level in the entire universe, but hope to pass the test of the second sky, hope is not too great. Heh. Jian Wushuang looked over immediately. You guys, the test in the Red Cloud Realm is to choose a disciple for a red cloud, and how strong is the red cloud in the peak period, that is, who owns a great country, and the owner of my family, Red Cloud Ancestor is even more the top powerful man among the Supreme Masters. His master is so powerful, and his vision is naturally very high. The ordinary genius is not regarded by him at all. Even if you are like this, the genius of the master of the rule can persist in school time in the hands of the top 3 masters of the first grade, and can only become a peripheral disciple in the vein of Hongyun. Disciple, it's too high. After all, Hongyun trains an inner disciple in the same vein, and the cost of resources will not be inferior to that of all the net worth who is dominated by an ultimate level, and these inner disciples have a certain chance of being valued by the host. It was obtained by the true story of the master. This led to the countless geniuses in the vast universe who shattered their heads and wanted to join Hongyun as a disciple. Even during the heyday of Hongyun's veins, all the disciples added up. Dozens. You can imagine how difficult it is to become a disciple in Hongyun's veins. Jian Wushuang heard, his complexion was extremely dignified. Indeed, if according to Master Wu, the cost of cultivating an inner disciple at the beginning of Hongyun was comparable to the cost of cultivating all net worth at the ultimate level, then the cost is indeed too great. Natural requirements, it is even higher. In the heyday of the Red Cloud, all the disciples in the door also added up dozens, which further confirmed the difficulty of becoming a disciple. There is no doubt that the dozens of people who can become the disciples of Hongyun's inner circle must be the most wicked super genius in the vast universe. Little guy, now that you've come to this point, I might as well tell you that you are the master of a rule and want to be a disciple of Hongyun's veins. The threshold is to understand a bit of the law of the universe. As long as you understand with a trace of the law of the universe, you can easily break through the test of the second heaven, except that there is no other way. Master Wu said. What? Jian Wushuang's eyes widened. Why are you scared? Master Wu looked at Jian Wushuang with interest. Jian Wushuang nodded. He was really frightened. Realize a trace of the law of the universe. Even if you can understand a trace of the universe rules in the master, you are extremely anti-sky. Like the demon flame, he was the ultimate dominating level at first, but as a result, he encountered a master who knew a bit of the laws of the universe and was chased down by the other party. This led to the annihilation of the body, and only this residual soul escaped. And has been lingering for a long time. It can be imagined that a master who can realize a trace of the laws of the universe is extremely perverted, and is also destined to become the top power in the master. This is the case with the master, but now he is only the master of the rules. It is absolutely foolish to want a ruler to understand a little bit of the law of the universe. In fact, at the beginning, the requirements of the second-day test of the Red Cloud Realm were not so outrageous, but later the host may be dissatisfied with the quality of those disciples inside the Red Clouds, or it may be because the host intends to receive the true disciple. Only after the request was raised, unfortunately, the war broke out shortly after the war broke out. The master died, and the requirements of the Red Cloud Realm could not be changed again. Of course, although it's really demanding and incredible for a ruler to comprehend a rule of the universe is too big and too vast, and geniuses are emerging endlessly. A ruler like this can comprehend a rule of the universe. It is not absent in the universe, but it is relatively rare. In the vast universe, geniuses are also divided into levels. Among them, the ruler who can understand a trace of the law of the universe belongs to the most advanced type. Only 1 billion stars can appear on average. Is there only 1 billion star world? Jian Wushuang was shocked inside. He didn't go to the depths of the universe. He didn't know how big the universe was, nor how many stars and universes existed in the universe. But the amount of billions alone is exaggerated enough. You know, in the beginning, the world was only a third-level astral world, and it was only one of the billions of astral worlds. Even in the star field where he is now, all the astral circles add up to dozens. There is only a chance for such a genius to appear in the billions of stars. The quality of this genius is too high. Little guy, you don't have to worry too much. According to my estimation, even if you are not as good as the billions of stars, a super genius may appear, but the difference is never too much. Mist humane. Heh. Jian Wushuang looked over immediately. You know, you are in the most marginal zone of the universe, and the strongest here will barely reach the of the second grade, and here is not qualified to contact the universe, and there is no such perfect cultivation system. Or a complete inheritance. Most of the practitioners in your star field rely on their own exploration and cultivation. The only chance may be some battlefield debris that came here through the turbulence of the universe. In these harsh environments, you can pass the test of the first heaven. Your talent is naturally extraordinary. In the second heaven, that is, now on this island, there are many opportunities. These opportunities will be of great help to you. Chapter 3789. With your talents, taking advantage of these opportunities, take some time. Maybe it is really possible to pass the test of this second heaven. Wu Da humane. Master Wu said easily, but Jian Wushuang still felt tremendous pressure. Anyway, the heart of the astral world, I must get it, and the rule is precious. Jian Wu's eyes flashed fiercely. Little guy, let's leave the second-day test. For now, you are still choosing one of these 36 mysteries at will, Wu said. Jian Wushuang nodded, and then began to look into the 36 mysteries in front of him. These 36 mysteries are recorded in 36 spells, and Jian Wushuang can only detect one mystery. The 36 mysteries are all powerful mysteries accumulated in a vein of red clouds. Any one is extremely powerful, enough to make the 4th and 5th series masters crazy. When Jian Wushuang browsed, I also found that these mysteries are really amazing. Some mysteries are not even weaker than their supreme immortal mystic. And there are 36 mysteries, there are many types, there are powerful mysteries in attack and killing, there are mysteries in the field or repression type, there are also mysteries of body protection and life protection, and so on. The eyes of sword warriors glowed. After all, he has a lot of mysteries to use here. For example, among these mysteries, there is a unique kendo mystery. Although the kendo mystery sword Wushuang has not been cultivated, just by looking at the information, he knows that this kendo mystery is enough to make his sword power even higher. But unfortunately, the threshold of this kendo mystery is very high, and it also costs a great deal to consolidate a destiny sword that belongs to itself. The rule is invaluable, and the sword is unparalleled. Naturally, this secret technique only has his eyesight. There is also an extremely powerful consciousness technique. This mystery technique can not only greatly enhance the strength of your consciousness, but also release a terrifying consciousness attack. That conscious attack, but ignoring the hindrance of the soul, is equivalent to stepping on the peak of Tianfeng, the same as the conscious attack of the three-eyed demon woman. The three-eyed demon woman's conscious attack method, Zhen Wushuang has been taught, not only arrogant, but also impossible to stop. Of course, Zhen Wushuang also longs for such a secret technique. Imagine that when he was playing against the strong, he suddenly carried out this conscious attack, and the opponent was likely to be successful if he didn't notice it. However, although this consciousness technique is good, the minimum cultivation threshold is the level of domination, and it is not the general domination, at least it must be dominated by the second level or above. He is still far from being dominated by the first series, let alone the second series. This consciousness technique, of course, cannot be cultivated. These mysteries are the accumulation of Hongyun's long years. Any one is very good, but the threshold for the practice of these mysteries is too high. Although there are 36 mysteries, either mysteries that can be cultivated now, but there are not a few at all, like the ones that I think are of great use to me, I can't practice any of them now. Zhen Wushuang frowned. Little guy, you're distressed, don't know which mystery to choose, right? Master Wu saw it at this time. Yes. Zhen Wushuang nodded. Among the 36 mysteries, I can practice now, at most there are more than 10, but these 10 mysteries have not made me very eager, nor have I know which door to pick. Haha, no way, you are just the master of the rules. The realm is too low. If you have reached the master level, even if it is the master of the first level, then you will be able to practice a lot more mysteries now. Master Wu smiled, but suddenly his expression moved. Little guy, if you can't be sure, should I recommend you one? Huh. Zhen Wushuang looked at Master Wu immediately. Master Wu, which mystery do you think I am suitable for? This door, look at it. When Master Wu waved his hand, one of the 36 commandments appeared in front of Zhen Wushuang. Zhen Wushuang immediately searched for the secret information in this order. Mystic dragon is gone, mystic power burns mystic. Zhen was eyes narrowed. Divine power burning mystery, as the name implies, is to forcibly burn your own divine power, greatly speed up your own divine power consumption, so that your strength can reach a new level of mystery in a short time. Zhen Wushuang has also seen this mystery before, but he didn't care too much. After all, any of the 36 mysteries is very good, and most of them are the ones that directly improve their own strength or various means, and this magical power burns the magical power, but it requires a lot of magical power to act. Only at the cost can it be cast. Compared with other mysteries directly cast, this magical burning mystery is obviously inferior. Therefore, Zhen Wushuang did not really care about this mystery before, but he did not expect that Master Wu recommended it to him. Master Wu, this dragon extermination technique is very powerful. Zhen Wushuang looked at Master Wu. Of course it is great. Master Wu smiled slightly. Little guy, you have never really wandered in the vast universe, so you probably don't know much. In the vast universe, the mystery of magic burning is relatively rare, at least than other kinds of attacks or mysteries are rare. And the burning of magical power requires a huge amount of magical power as the basis, and the consumption of magical power is too great. Often a practitioner who does not have long to cast the magical burning magic, his magical power it is completely exhausted, so in the universe, almost all practitioners use the mystery of magic burning as a whole card, which belongs to the type that can't help but fight. But it is undeniable that the mystery of magical burning is indeed extremely powerful. Take the first level master, for example. Once he casts the magical burning of magical power, his power will increase by 100-fold, and he can have a second level in a short time. The master's combat power, even if he is the master of the 4th rank, after performing the magical power burning operation, he can barely reach the threshold of the master of the 5th rank. The burning of divine power can indeed achieve this step. Zhen Wushuang was not surprised. If you change to someone else, I wouldn't recommend this dragon extinction technique, but you are different. Master Wu looked at Zhen Wushuang calmly. Little guy, you are a perfect practitioner of life, and you have great power, it is 100 times or even 1,000 times as much as a practitioner of the same level. In other words, if an ordinary ruler can only use 1 breath to perform mystic burning mystery, you can maintain 100 breaths or even 1,000 breaths. Chapter 3790. Of course, a battle, too many changes, and you can't use only one kind of divine power. Even if your divine power is hundreds of thousands of times larger than an ordinary practitioner, you can't be extravagant enough to perform this divine power. Burning mystery. But anyway, if you have this magical burning mystery, it will be more convenient than other practitioners. Other practitioners, even if they possess the magic of burning magic, will be used as the ultimate whole card for life-threatening, but if you feel that it is necessary, you can cast it. After all, you have a lot of power, even if you burn 10 or 20%. What a big deal. Mist humane. Jian Wushuang nodded secretly, and his heart began to figure it out. Indeed, compared with ordinary practitioners, his advantage in divine power is too great. That mysterious burning mystery, even if he burns desperately, is estimated to be sufficient for a long period of time. And the strength reaches his level, the general life and death fight will not last for too long, and may even end instantly. This magic burning skill can be a sharp blade in his hands, and it is also a big hole card. And this card lasts longer than ordinary practitioners. It's decided, I'll take this dragon extermination technique. Jian Wushuang has made up his mind. He has been scrutinized carefully. Indeed, among the 36 mysteries, he can practice more than 10 mysteries now. Among the more than 10 mysteries, the one who helps the most for his strength should be this dragon extinction. And according to Lord Mist, the magic of mysterious burning is extremely rare in the universe. If you miss this time, if you can get another magic of burning mysterious next time, it is unknown. Little guy, believe me, you will never regret choosing this dragon demystification practice. Master Wu also was extremely sure. Jian Wushuang was a series of smiles, and then Jian Wushuang received the information of dragon extermination in the way directed by Lord Mist. Although the mystery of dragon extermination is recorded in that order, Jian Wushuang cannot directly collect the order. Instead, under the guidance of Lord Wu, let the information in the order come into his mind and form memories. Soon, the complete information method of the dragon extinction technique was completely printed in Jian Wushuang's mind. This dragon extermination technique is so powerful. After getting the message of dragon extermination, Jian Wushuang was stunned, and his heart was ecstatic. He previously thought that the dragon demystification is simply a method of burning magical powers, but he did not expect that the dragon demystification's burning of magical powers is also divided into various levels. Dragon Mystery is divided into 3 volumes. In the first volume, the master of the rule can practice. After the divine power is burned, his strength increases by 100-fold. In the second volume, the master can practice, the speed of burning of divine power is increased 10-fold, and the strength is increased by 1,000-fold. In the third volume, the supreme only practiced, the speed of burning of divine power increased by 100 times, and the strength increased by 10,000 times. Terrible, terrible. Jian Wushuang agitated his throat. Just at the level of the rule's master, the strength is enough to increase 100-fold, and when it is dominated and supreme, it is even 1,000-fold increase. Of course, the burning and promotion of this divine power is just pure power. As for the understanding of the Tao and the understanding of the laws of the universe, it has not been promoted in the sacred style, and it has reached the second and third volumes. The speed at which the divine power burns will also increase 10-fold to 100-fold, which means that the divine power is consumed more and more. However, it is still very abnormal. I am now the master of the rules, so I can practice the first volume. Once I have made it, my current combat power is the top level of domination. Once I cast the dragon destruction skill to increase the power by 100 times, my combat power is completely it can be increased to the second level, and even in the second level, I am afraid that it is not weak, but from the higher level and even the top level. Jian Wushuang clenched his hands tightly, his eyes flashed a strong light. He felt that as long as he refined this secret technique, his combat power would be enough to reach a whole new level. In the future, even if the Lord of the Clouds kills himself, he will have a better grasp of how to deal with it. This dragon-destroying mystery, although overbearing, is not too complicated. You only need to spend a little time to make the first volume. Of course, you don't need to practice it now. After all, this is the Red Cloud Realm. You will not encounter danger here, and the second test of the sky, you can't use this dragon annihilation technique, so it's not too late to wait until you leave the Red Cloud Realm, or practice when you want to leave. Mist Humane. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. Yes, Master Wu, you said that there are many opportunities in the second day? What opportunities are there? Jian Wushuang asked. The second chance is on this island. Master Wu smiled. Don't look at the small area of the island, but it contains countless opportunities. Some of these opportunities are red clouds and strong pulses. Of course, most of them are from the outside world, of which the level is very high. Of course, you are still too weak now, and you have not even comprehended the laws of the universe. You can only see the opportunities in the second day. It's a little fur, but even if it's just a little fur, it shouldn't help you much. It's like the red cloud world opened this time, the sword stone born in that first heavy day. Sword stone? Jian Wushuang looked. The sword stone of the first heaven, but under that sword stone, he has realized for 5,000 years. These 5,000 years of enlightenment not only greatly improved his perception of the origin of Kendo, but also allowed him to perfect his sword guarding of the earth. It can be said that the sword stone helped him tremendously, and the sword stone contains 4 swords. There were only one sword in the first enlightenment. If he hadn't worried that the Red Cloud Realm had only been open for 10,000 years, he would not be willing to delay too much time on the sword stone. Otherwise he would have to learn the other 3 swords under the sword stone. The sword stone is related to this second day? Jian Wushuang could not help asking. Yes. Master Wu nodded. In the first cloud of the Red Cloud world, there are occasional special opportunities, and these special opportunities are not actually owned by the first cloud, but all come from the second cloud. Just like that sword stone, it comes from the second heaven, and that sword stone is not only 1, but 11 full. Each sword stone has 4 golden characters, and each golden character has there is a sword art that reaches the extreme of domination. Upon hearing this, Jian Wushuang's figure was immediately excited. 11 sword stones, each of them has 4 golden characters, and each golden character has a sword technique that can reach the ultimate mastery. 3 heads M. Chapter 3791. The sword art in that sword stone is so strong, the sword unparalleled is very clear. He himself was able to spy on some of the mysteries and moods in swordplay because he had mastered the origins of Kendo universe, but what he could see was only some fur. Even if it is fur, it has greatly improved his Kendo and sword skills. And such a sword stone, there are even 11? The sword stones are the most important in this island right now, but sword stones are just one of the many opportunities on this island, and they are not the most precious opportunities. As for other opportunities, you can slowly explore them yourself. Mist Humane. Master Fog, how long can I stay on this island? Jian Wushuang asked. Whatever you want, you can stay as long as you want, and even if you leave now, you can come in any time in the future. Master Wu. Great. Jian Wu's eyes flashed with joy. Go. Master Wu waved. Jian Wushuang salutes the Misty Lord slightly, even if he can't wait to find many opportunities on the island. The Mister looked at the back of Jian Wushuang's departure, but a slightly deep smile appeared on his face. This little guy already has the extremely rare life in the universe, which can also be called a perfect life form rare in the billions of stars, and his own talent for understanding is also very good. Such a super genius, I am afraid in no way is it worse than the sort of demon that is likely to appear in the billions of stars. If the owner is still alive, seeing such demon geniuses will certainly be quite happy, and he will want to collect him as a true biography disciple. Master Wu murmured. Although he hadn't praised Jian Wushuang's talent much when he just said to Jian Wushuang, he also said that the vast universe has more talents than him, and he also proposed that the billions of stars might not have a super genius. To say so, But Master Wu knows very well that the super genius that does not necessarily have one person in the billions of stars is rare in the entire universe. Whenever there is one of the top forces in the deepest part of the universe and the top hegemons, which is not to compete madly, his ancestor Red Cloud Ancestor, although he was also a top powerhouse, was able to open up the kingdom of God himself, and was a big man in the depths of the universe, but compared to those top cosmic hegemons, it is still a far cry. Because of this, it is generally possible for a super demon to appear in the billions of stars, and it is impossible for his master to be accepted as a disciple in the universe. The ancestors of the Red Cloud Ancestors changed the threshold of the Red Cloud world, but in fact they only held a little hope. Now, Zhen Wushuang has come to the Red Cloud realm. Although he is purely perceptive, he may not be as good as the super evil of 1 billion stars, but if he has only one potential, he may be better than that. And it is huge. A genius with such potentials will certainly pay much attention if his master is still alive. But unfortunately, his ancestor Red Cloud Ancestors have long since died, and Hongyun's veins have fallen, and even the kingdom of God has collapsed. The most important thing is that the original Red Cloud Ancestors in the first battle did not have time to retain his legacy, that is to say in the Red Cloud realm, there is no inheritance of the Red Cloud Ancestors. Otherwise, this misty man has long considered making Zhen Wushuang inherit the mantle of Hongyun's ancestors. I hope that this little guy can really pass the test of the second day with the help of this second chance. If he passes, although I still can only follow the rules, I can go more or less. Give him some better suggestions, so that he can get more benefits. Master Wu sighed, his body fluttered, but he had disappeared from the place. The Red Cloud world is the second highest, above the island. Zhen Wushuang roamed freely over the island, his soul's power had already been released, and his eyes kept looking constantly at everything below. There are all kinds of opportunities on this island. Zhen Wushuang came along all the way and did see some places that should be opportunities, but he did not stay, but went all the way. Soon, he came to the very center of the island, and here he saw the place where the sword and stones were piled up, as Master Wu said. Sure enough, there are 10 sword stones, suspended in mid-air very calmly. On these 10 sword stones, there are old and misty golden words. There are 4 golden texts on each sword stone, and each golden text contains an extremely powerful sword skill. Coupled with that sword stone that was born in the first day, there are 11 sword stones, which adds up to 44 amazing swordsmanships. The sword stone born in the first heaven of the Red Cloud realm alone, has made many practitioners who are good at kendo in this starfield crazy, but there are 10 full here. Zhen Wushuang smiled, when even swept over the 10 sword stones. Before coming to the sword stone, looking at the ancient and elegant golden words on the 10 sword stones, Zhen Wushuang did not hesitate, and consciousness sank into it immediately. In a few moments, these golden words began to evolve into swordplay in his mind. A horrific sword skill is constantly practiced in the mind of the sword. Too strong and terrible. These sword arts are simply incredible. Zhen Wushuang watched the sword art of these golden text changes. There is no doubt that these swordsmanships are no worse than the 4 swordsmanships that he saw on the swordstone of the first heaven. Even though he is now aware of the origin of kendo, he can only watch some fur from these swords. But even this fur was enough to shock him. This sword art is as fast as the wind and the shape of the fire, but it will fall apart. This sword art has directly formed the boundless kendo realm. This sword, a sword comes out, destroys everything. Zhen Wushuang was extremely excited inside. He is very clear that the swordsmanship contained in the 10 sword stones can be easily found out at www.mtlnovel. For him, even after studying for a long time, he cannot grasp the swordsmanship 20%. This is true for one sword art, not to mention so many swordsmanships. Don't worry, the opportunity on this island is not the only kind of sword stone. I'll go and see other opportunities first. Zhen Wushuang took a deep breath, and his consciousness emerged from the sword stone, even if he got up and swept away towards the surrounding void. On this island, he began to look for other opportunities. There are many opportunities for the second sky, they are everywhere, and they are not hidden. It is naturally very easy for him to find them. Soon he found various opportunities on the island. End of this chapter, dear. Click in and give a good comment. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that a beautiful wife was found at the end of the new score. Chapter 3792. What is this? Vortex. Jian Wushuang looked in amazement at a huge swirl in front of him. This blood-colored vortex has a range of thousands of miles, like an open mouth of blood, which is extremely scary. On this island, which is only a few 100,000 miles in size, this blood-colored vortex covering a range of thousands of miles is extremely conspicuous. In addition to Sword Stone, Jian Wushuang's first opportunity to find it is this vortex. This vortex does not seem to be in danger. Jian Wushuang muttered. First of all, although this vortex looked scary, it did not give Jian Wushuang any sense of danger. Furthermore, Lord Mist said that the second sky exists only by chance, and there is no danger. Naturally, he does not need to be too alert or worried. After hesitating for a moment, Jian Wushuang slowly walked out towards the core of the vortex and walked step by step. Jian Wushuang did not encounter any obstacles. And just as he appeared at the heart of the blood swirl, a huge ancient picture appeared in front of him. In the picture, a figure, holding a knife with one hand, stabbed down. Wow! Beautiful and extremely exquisite. With this knife split, Jian Wushuang's mind was instantly attracted. At this moment, Jian Wushuang even felt his entire consciousness, the entire soul was forcibly split and torn by this knife, and his heart could not help but emerge. Sheer towering fear. He was all there, unable to move. He was completely deterred by the shocking stab in the ancient pictures. Until the blade of light in the ancient pictures completely dissipated, Jian Wushuang's mind and spirit reluctantly recovered. Terrible, terrible. I've never seen such a terrible knife. Jian Wushuang looked in horror at the ancient picture in front of him. In the picture, the figure has taken back the sword, but Jian Wushuang will never forget the feeling at that moment. At that moment, it felt as if my soul consciousness had to be forcibly split and torn. There is no doubt that it is a shocking knife. Peerless swordsmanship. The man who casts this sword is definitely a supreme powerhouse. Absolutely. Jian Wushuang is extremely sure. Even if the figure is not supreme, his knife is absolutely supreme. This sword method has a complete ancient picture, and you can even feel the artistic conception and mystery contained in that sword method, and even you will be deterred by the sword method. If a strong swordsman is here, in the ancient picture, watching this ancient picture to enlighten him, his understanding on the knife path can definitely be improved at an incredible speed, and so is the sword method. But unfortunately, what I'm good at is not the sword. Jian Wushuang shook his head secretly. There is no doubt that the ancient picture at the core of this vortex is a great opportunity for any knife path practitioner. But for Jian Wushuang, who is good at kendo, the effect is not great. Shaking his head, Jian Wushuang walked out of the vortex, and soon went to another opportunity. Well, the statue. Jian Wushuang looked up and looked at a statue standing side by side in front of him. There are 4 statues, each of which is immensely tall, more than 100 feet high. From these 4 statues, Jian Wushuang can feel the existence of extremely strong power of rules. Master, this is the statue of Wushan. The sound of the magic flame suddenly sounded in Jian Wushuang's heart. Statue of Wushan? Jian Wushuang stunned. What is Wushan? The Wu is a very unique and powerful special life in the universe. This special life is very strange. They were born to be the darling of the rules of heaven and earth. In terms of the rules of heaven and earth, they don't need to understand at all. At the peak, they will naturally understand the 9 rules, and all of the 9 rules will merge to become the ultimate master. What? Jian Wushuang was startled. There is no need to learn the rules. As long as you grow to the peak, you will naturally understand the 9 rules and integrate them perfectly. Is there such a special life in the universe? No, since it is a special life, it should be unique, but you just said that they obviously have more than one god. Jian Wushuang frowned. Master, you misunderstood. Wushan is actually just a general term for this special kind of life. Although they are all Wushan, the rules that they understand and merge with each other are different. After all, There are many rules of heaven and earth. Even if each head of thee is fully aware of and merges 9 kinds, it can still create many heads of God. Demon Flame Road. Is that so? Sword Unparalleled. Yes, it's the same as Woo Woo, one who understands these 9 rules, and the other that understands the other 9 rules, which are certainly different from each other. It's because the Woo gods are so unique that their gods are extremely precious, let alone the complete Woo gods. Even a single scale on their body represents the essence of the fusion of 9 rules, so in the universe among them, one of the peak Woogen scales is extremely valuable. And then some practitioners transformed the statues of Wushan with the scales of Wushan. Although they are statues, they still contain the essence of the fusion of 9 rules, so you now see the 4 statues of Wushan in front of you. Each statue contains the power of strong rules. If you sense it carefully, you can sense the fusion of 9 different rules on each statue of the god. Master, now you are just the master of the rules. If you want to break through and become the master, you must understand and integrate more rules, and this statue of thee is of great use to you. You can go and master. Realize that the 9 rules on the statue of Wushan are fused together. The 4 statues of Wushan are different in the rules of heaven and earth, and the director can experience it. After the flames had finished speaking, he paused. But Jian Wushuang's eyes had already lighted. The statue of Wushan. 9 different rules perfectly blend. Jian was was excited. Yes, he has not become the master, and even if he becomes the master, the improvement of strength also needs to incorporate more rules of the world. And from the statue of Wu Wu, he contains the fusion of 9 rules. He can even experience the fusion of these 9 rules. For him, it is a rare opportunity. This statue of Wu God is of great use to me. Jian Wushuang sighed. Although it is very useful, Jian Wushuang did not rush to realize under this statue of Wushan, but continued to find other opportunities in this island. 14 _ Emperor Jotian Deer, click in and give a good comment. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that a beautiful wife was found at the end of the new score. Chapter 3793. There are too many opportunities on the island. Sword stones, ancient pictures in swirls, and statues of Wushan are all just one of them. Jian Wushuang searched among the islands and easily found a chance. Blink, 3 days passed. Jian Wushuang can say that the entire island has been turned over again, and there are almost 100 kinds of opportunities. And these opportunities are various, there are all kinds of. Not only is it for the improvement of strength, the laws of the universe, the rules of heaven and earth, and the understanding of various Taos are helpful. There are even those who hone their consciousness and their soul strength. There are many opportunities, which are of great help to Jian Wushuang. Just like in Kendo, there are 3 types of opportunities on this island that can help improve Kendo. The sword stone is just one of them. Strangely, there are all kinds of opportunities on this island. Even the opportunities to deepen the understanding of the laws of the universe, there are opportunities to help practitioners step into the threshold of the laws of the universe, but not. Jian Wushuang frowned. This second test of the sky requires him to master a little cosmic law before he can break through. Therefore, he naturally longed to find an opportunity on this island that can help him master a trace of the universe law as soon as possible and step into the threshold of the universe law. But this opportunity, Jian Wushuang did not find this island. Instead, there are opportunities to purely deepen the understanding of the laws of the universe, but there are several types on this island. The key point is that Jian Wushuang has not mastered even a trace of the laws of the universe, and has not yet stepped into the threshold of the laws of the universe. That is to say, if a strong person who has understood the laws of the universe can continue to ascend on this island by chance, but a practitioner like Jian Wushuang who has not mastered a trace of the laws of the universe, cannot find that on this island. This kind of opportunity allows you to grasp a trace of the law of the universe as soon as possible. Think carefully, maybe the old ancestor of Red Cloud made this arrangement intentionally. Jian Wushuang muttered. He understands that for a ruler, this second test of the sky is to grasp a trace of the laws of the universe. Under such standards, if there is still a shortcut on the island of the second heaven that can quickly understand a trace of the law of the universe, then the test of the second heaven will be too easy. Although there are no shortcuts, there are too many opportunities on this island. There are many opportunities to deepen my understanding of the laws of the universe. Among these opportunities, I can feel the existence of some laws of the universe more or less. At least it is easier than just groping on your own. Jian Wushuang secretly said. Start enlightenment. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath and quickly repaired on the island. Time passed quietly. Jian Wushuang stayed on the second day, using the opportunity on the island to carefully enlighten and improve his strength. But on the first day, many powerful people in this star field are still madly fighting for the treasure. With the birth of each piece of treasure, the competition for treasures in the Red Cloud Realm became more and more fierce and crazy. Especially in the last millennium, because there are only 1,000 years left, there are obviously not many treasures born, so the competition will be more intense. In such crazy competition, the 10,000-year deadline of the Red Cloud world is slowly approaching. In the blink of an eye, 10,000 years are left, and only the last 10 years are left. In the last 10 years, the first day of the Red Cloud realm began to calm down, and the enthusiasm for the supreme treasure has gradually receded. The vast majority of practitioners in the first heavy day are now concentrated on the 7th continent, and they have all come to the foot of Tiantian Peak. The legend about the Red Cloud realm has been well known in this star field. Everyone knows that stepping on the peak of the sky is a test, and since it is a test, it will naturally get a lot of benefits. It is because of this that in the past few years, most of the strong in this star field will choose to come under the Tiantian Peak to try to explore. Although the Red Cloud realm has appeared in this star field for several chaotic periods and long years, no one has actually set foot on the peak of the Qianfeng Peak, and everyone knows that they have to pass the test of the Qianfeng Peak, almost impossible, but everyone is still willing to try. After all, what if you run out of luck? At the foot of the mountain, at the pavilion at the foot of the mountain, the man in black at the gate sat calmly. In front of the man in black, there was a dense line of dragons. Countless practitioners walked from the steps to this gazebo and accepted the test of the man in black. Just a moment later, the man in black opened the eyes with the young man in purple in front of him. As soon as his eyes opened, the young man in purple was pale. Weak, it's too weak. The man in black looked cold, and stared at the young man in purple. I didn't need to do anything at all, and the power of God alone directly crushed you. This strength, come to break into Tianfeng? Get off. The black man's scolding showed no mercy. The young man in purple clothes looked ugly, but he was helpless. In the space of consciousness just now, the man in black did not make any shots. He just knelt down under the pressure of the random pressure. The two sides did not need to make any shots, and he lost. No way, the man in black sits at the foot of the mountain. Although it is the easiest way to step on the peak of the sky, when facing the challenger of the ruler, his outbreak is still the ultimate master. The primary dominates the level, and the divine power that dominates the level, of course, the rule of the general rule cannot carry it. Next. The man in black spoke. Immediately someone came to challenge. Weak, too weak. It's been this long. Thousands of people have been tested before me, but until now, there wasn't even one that made me take it a little more seriously. This star field is really rubbish. Although the man in black said something like this, he knew from the bottom of his heart that this star field was not so unbearable. At least not long ago, a man easily broke through him, and he also got the news, knowing that the man has passed the test of stepping to the peak of the sky, and entered the second day. On the first day, in the last 10 years, a large number of practitioners have tried the test of stepping on the peak of the sky. As a result, the past 5 years had passed, and no one had even gone through the test of the foot of Mount Tianfeng. Until the 6th year, someone finally broke through the barrier guarded by the man in black. This person is a master, Gu dominates. A top master who has already become famous in this star field, and it is rumored that he is not the master of this star field, but from another star field, only because he saw the existence of 3 battlefields in this star field. Stay here all the time. End of this chapter. Chapter 3794. Dominated by Yu Yu, a strong individual, who has never joined any forces before. Over the years, he has been wandering in the 3 major battlefields, looking for opportunities to treasure, and his strength has continued to improve. There have been rumors that he played against Qian Peng, the master of Beihai Palace, but no one knows the outcome. Today, Yu Yu dominated the trials at the foot of the mountain. Obviously, he had won that battle. After all, Qian Peng came to the test of the foothills 2 years ago. Although he battled the men in black in the consciousness space for a long time, he still couldn't defeat the men in black, and he failed the test of foothills. But Yu Yu dominated it, naturally representing his strength is stronger than Qian Peng dominated. You're fine. The man in black chuckled and looked at the dominator of Yu Yu in front of him. Most obviously only merges the 4 rules. It is only the master of the 1st rank, but your combat power is as strong as the master of the 2nd rank. Even in the 2nd grade primary domination, you are very strong. It seems that in this star level, you should be the strongest. Go up. Yu Yu dominates his face as cold as an iceberg. Hearing the words of the man in black, he nodded slightly, even though he planned to walk up the steps. But at this time the man in black spoke to the crowd again. Although your level of star practitioners is really low, but this time the red cloud realm opens, and it is not bad for 2 people to run through me. Yes. Ji Yu's pace dominated immediately. Many strong men present also looked at the men in black one after another. 2 people? Besides Yu Yu's domination, has anyone passed the test at the foot of this mountain? Who's that person? Talks began to ring out immediately. Master Yu Yu also looked at the man in black. Is the ruler? Yes. The man in black nodded. He just said that Yu Yu's dominance should be the strongest in the star field, and if the same dominates the test of the foot of the mountain, then this man in black will never be so sure. That is naturally the ruler. After all, the test of stepping on Tianfeng is different from person to person. Different practitioners come to break through this stepping peak, and the strength of the gatekeepers is also different. When Jian Wushuang came to break through, this man in black was just the primary combatant. However, if the master dominates this level, his displayed combat power is the ultimate master, even the 2nd level combat power. Fortunately, the combat power of Yu Yu's master is considered as the 2nd level primary master very strong. This can break through. Master Yu did not stay, and continued to walk towards the mountainside. But at the foot of the mountain, it exploded. Many practitioners are talking wildly and guessing. Who will be the ruler who broke through the foot of the mountain before the master of Yu Yu? No accident, you should be the Lord of the Blood Sword. The Lord of the Blood Sword? Well, it is very likely that the Lord of the Sword rules will have the strongest strength. The Lord of the Blood Sword and the Bloodslayer Emperor. The primary combat power broke out, although it is also very good, but compared to the Bloodsword Master, it is too far away, the Bloodsword Master, but at the level of the Rule Master has the top dominating combat power, such combat strength. To pass the test of the foot of the mountain, it should be easy. Well, I also think that it is the Lord of the Blood Sword. Except for him, I don't think that anyone else who can pass the test of the foot of the rule. The Bloodslayer Emperor also came a year ago, and all failed. Many practitioners in this star field almost all believe that the master of the rules that have passed the test of the footsteps of the Tianfeng mountain before the of the demon domain is the sword unparalleled. This is also normal, after all, Jian Wushuang showed his real strength before. Also dominated by evil, he has the top dominating combat power. The master of a rule, with top-level dominating combat power, is simply incredible. So against the sky, the test of Tianfeng alone can't stop him. But now many practitioners in this star field are guessing that Jian Wushuang only passed the test of the foot of the mountain, or that he even passed the test of the mountainside, even he reached the peak and went to the 2nd day. Everyone was guessing, and some tried to find out from some of Jian Wushuang's friends. For example, there are owners who ask the mysterious Shinto people and the Lord of Time and Space, and want to know the answer from their mouths. After all, this matter is no small matter. If Jian Wushuang just passed the test of the foot of the mountain, it would be nothing. Even if he passed the test on the mountainside, although it was amazing, it would not cause much sensation, but if he really set foot on the peak of Tianfeng, he went to the 2nd day. You know, that but no one has reached this starfield for years. The first heaven of the Red Cloud Realm contains endless treasures, which is enough to make many practitioners crazy. And what is there in the second heaven? Almost all practitioners in this star field are full of longing for the second day, but they have been unable to go. It can be imagined that if the news that Jian Wushuang went to the second heaven is confirmed, it will inevitably set off a huge wave in this star field. Everyone, a master has come to me again. I also asked Qianhu Xiaoyu whether he entered the second sky of the Red Cloud realm. I also agreed according to what we had previously said that he had passed the double test of stepping on the foot of Qianfeng Mountain. But the test at the summit failed to break through, and naturally failed to enter the second day, and now he has left the Red Cloud realm and is on his way back to my star palace. Mysterious Shintos and swords are unparalleled, the Lord of time and space, the Lord of heaven and the heavenly ancestors are communicating with each other. Haha, another one. Is this the eighth Lord who is asking you? The Lord of time and space laughed. Don't say you, there are several who came to inquire about you. The mysterious man smiled. Jian Wushuang has broken through the triple test of Qiantian Peak and has entered the second heavy sky of the Red Cloud realm. With this news, the four people of Shen Shinto, the master of time and space, the master of the Cut Heaven Alliance, and the ancestor of heaven have long known after all, they are definitely on the same line as Jian Wushuang, and Jian Wushuang has nothing to hide from them. After knowing the news, even the four masters were excited for a long time. At the same time, they also knew from Jian Wushuang's mouth that he had gained a lot of benefits in the second day. Even now he is in the midst of opportunity, but what benefits did he get? Jian Wushuang did not explain, and several of them also no inquiry. And considering that someone would doubt whether Jian Wushuang entered the second day, they unified their speeches long before. All said that Jian Wushuang only passed the test of the foot and the mountainside, but in the test of the peak, he lost. End of this chapter. Chapter 3795. No way. If you say to the outside world that Jian Wushuang has already passed the triple test of Tianfeng and entered the second day, it will definitely set off a huge wave in this star field, and Jian Wushuang will certainly be used by many ulterior motives. To keep an eye on, although Jian Wushuang's current strength, in this star domain, there is no need to fear anything, but it is still better to be cautious. Now they say that Jian Wushuang passed the two tests before stepping on Tianfeng, but it was a proper benefit to lose in the third test, which is the test of the peak. After all, so far, no one in this star field has been able to pass the test of the mountainside except for Sword Wushuang. Many practitioners in this star field are as powerful as Yu, and they can only struggle in the test of the mountainside. One or two, and there is no way to break through, and even if there is a third test above the peak, no one can be sure about this star field. With the incomparable strength demonstrated by Jian Wushuang, he has passed the test of the foot of the mountain and the mountainside, but he cannot pass the test of the peak, which is totally acceptable. Even if someone still doesn't believe it, don't need to explain too much. Heavenly friend, this Red Cloud realm is about to close again soon, but you said that you would still stay in the Red Cloud realm? Xian Shendao said suddenly. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded. This Red Cloud realm is not as simple as I thought before I waited. I passed the test of stepping on the peak of the sky and got the qualification to enter the Red Cloud realm at any time. Cultivation in the double sky, so time and space, cut sky, you too can return directly to the Star Palace, without waiting outside, and after returning to the Star Palace, declare to the outside that I retreat. Jian Wushuangdao. Okay. The Lord of Time and Space nodded. That being the case, then I and time and space will not wait for you. We will go back first. The Confederate Emperor smiled heartily. The two of them already knew that Jian Wushuang had gone to the second sky, and they themselves did not have the strength to go to the second sky, so they were too lazy to go to Tianfeng, and they were ready to leave the Red Cloud realm. Tianhu Xiaoyu, how long will you stay in the Red Cloud realm? Tianzu asked suddenly. I don't know, but it shouldn't take too long. Jian Wushuang flatly said, yes. When I return from the Red Cloud realm, it will surprise everyone. Surprise! Mysterious Shinto man, Lord of space and time, Lord of the heavens, and heavenly ancestor all had a look. Haha, why, not only did you get the chance in the second day, but you also got something we didn't use. Laughed the leader of the Celestial Alliance. Can you still bring us some of the strongest treasures from the second day? Xian Shinto also joked. Jian Wushuang didn't say much, and chatted a few more words at random, then interrupted the communication. In the second day, Jian Wushuang shook his head with a smile after retracting the summoning order. Xian Shun, they are afraid they don't know yet. The surprise I want to give them is the strongest treasure. Jian Wushuang smiled slightly. Lord Wu promised him, and before he left, he could pick some treasures to take home. Those treasures said by Lord Wu are the strongest treasures at the level of necessity like Shuangguang and Tianyi. Maybe he can't wait for a few, but the most ordinary strong treasures. Obviously, Lord Wu doesn't care much, he can go back a lot. You know, there are a few of mysterious gods, and there are not a few of them that are the strongest. He only needs to bring some of the strongest Jibao back and give them a few people to use, their strength can completely reach a new level. In the beginning, the strength of the Divine Realm and the Star Palace camp will naturally be stronger. Keep enlightening. Jian Wushuang calmed down quickly, and continued to practice and enlighten himself under the opportunity on the island of the second heaven. Within the Red Cloud Realm, the last 10 years passed quickly. In the past 10 years, the number of strong men who have broken into Tianfeng has been countless, but except for Jian Wushuang, who broke through in the beginning, and Ji Yu, who later broke through, there is no third person in this star domain. Passing the test of the foot of the mountain, the master of that Yu only just passed the test of the foot of the mountain. At the test of the mountainside, he was easily defeated by the guards. At the end of the last 10 years, many practitioners in the Red Cloud Realm have left the Red Cloud Realm. Even those who are unwilling to leave will be sent out by the Red Cloud Realms. The entire Red Cloud Realm immediately fell silent, and only after hundreds of millions of years, the next Red Cloud Fogtide appeared, and this Red Cloud Realm appeared again in front of the world. At least most practitioners in this star field think so, but only a few people know that this time the Red Cloud Realm opened, and there was a stranger like Jian Wushuang, which directly broke through the test of stepping to the peak and entered the second place. Heaven, and these years, has been quietly enlightened in the second heaven. The years are flowing, quietly passing by. In a flash, the Red Cloud Realm has been closed for 8,000 years. You know, Jian Wushuang came to the second heaven with about 2,000 years left before the Red Cloud Realm closed. In other words, his second day in the Red Cloud Realm has been spent for thousands of years. For tens of thousands of years, he has been taking advantage of various opportunities on the island of Second Heaven to improve his strength. With the help of these opportunities, his progress is naturally very great. On the second day, this is an area of the island with a range of hundreds of thousands of miles. This is an open area, but on this open area, there is a heavy lavender prohibition. There are nearly 24 restrictions, each of which exudes a strong breath, and one is stronger than the other. Jian Wushuang sat before the first heavy restraint, his eyes closed slightly. Broken. A light groan suddenly sounded, and a horrific sword exploded from Jian Wushuang's body, rushing directly into the restraint in front, and rammed inside the restraint. Although this is only the first ban and is the weakest of all bans, even if you want to forcibly break the ban, even the second-ranking dominator will be difficult to achieve. But now, under the impulse of Jian Wushuang's sword, this heavy prohibition has begun to break down quickly. Just a moment later, this first ban was completely gone. It took a full 4,000 years to finally break this first kendo ban. Jian Wushuang opened his eyes were full of surprise. 4,000 years. That's right, Jian Wushuang had stayed for 4,000 thoughts before the ban. Kendo ban. It is a great opportunity for kendo on this island. Each of these bans requires a certain degree of understanding of kendo to be able to crack. When Sword Wushuang arrived at the first heavy kendo ban, only 1/10 of this kendo prohibition can be cracked. In the past 4,000 years, he has gradually studied and understood step by step, and finally completely broke the complete first. His consciousness in kendo has naturally been greatly improved. Chapter 3796. This is the first kendo ban. I have split it. As for the second, Jian Wushuang also tried to break the second prohibition, but after trying, Jian Wushuang shook his head helplessly. This second kendo ban is probably 10 times more complicated and difficult than the first kendo ban. It is extremely difficult for me to break the first kendo ban. I want to break the second kendo, and I do nt know what year where is Ma Yu? Jian Wushuang sighed. For the first heavy kendo ban, he spent a full 4,000 years. This is because he has a certain level of understanding in the origin of kendo, so that he can continue to study it step by step. The second ban, the underlying kendo universe, is obviously deeper, and the difficulty of cracking must be more than 10 times. In a short period of time, Jian Wushuang was not sure to crack this second ban. Nothing, I have benefited a lot from breaking the first kendo ban. As for this second kendo ban, I will try again when I have a chance. Jian Wushuang muttered. In the past 10,000 years, he has been enlightened by various opportunities on the island, and has improved his strength. After thousands of years, he has made the most progress in kendo, which is enough to break the immediate kendo ban. You know, even if the first kendo is banned, the second-level master who is usually good at kendo is difficult to crack. In other words, his accomplishments in kendo alone are now no less than dominated by the third level. This is just on kendo. In terms of rules, the fourth rule, the earth rule, he has learned is now fully understood, but he has not yet perfectly integrated with the other three rules. Although under the statue of Wu Wu, he was already familiar with the fusion of the four rules of time and space, reincarnation, destruction, and the earth, but it was obviously not so easy to truly merge himself. As for the laws of the universe, he still hasn't really gotten started, but the atmosphere of the laws of the universe he has mastered is getting stronger and stronger. Jian Wushuang understands that after all, the laws of the universe are the only ones who are truly qualified to be involved. Even if the master wants to participate in enlightenment, it is difficult to go to heaven, let alone the ruler. He can't be in a hurry, he can only slowly improve and slowly realize. After 10,000 years of enlightenment, until now, I feel that my strength seems to have reached a kind of bottleneck, especially in terms of kendo and rules. Jian Wushuang frowned. He has already noticed that even on this island, even with the help of many opportunities, his progress has been getting slower and slower. As he said, he has now reached the bottleneck. This kind of bottleneck can't be broken by simply continuing to rely on enlightenment here. Instead, it requires those incomparably special states, such as epiphany. Especially the kind of epiphany in life and death is enough for a person to undergo qualitative transformation. What Jian Wushuang lacks now is this transformation. I have been for a long time. I have not experienced the feeling between life and death. Jian Wushuang shook his head. No way, as his strength continues to improve, especially the substantial increase in life-saving ability, in this star domain, no one can threaten him. Even if it is stronger than the general master can easily crush it, even if it is a top master. If he still needs to be treated diligently 1,000 years ago, now, after 1,000 years, the average top master also threatens him. It can be said that now he is walking sideways in this star field. Except for some of the most dangerous places in the three battlefields, no one can threaten him, and naturally no one can push him to the edge of death. Jian Wushuang thought about it for a while. Last time he was on the verge of death, a long time ago, in the three sacred realms on Po Laro Island, the time to set up the Tian Luo Di net to kill him. That time, he was indeed on the verge of life and death. After that battle, he was never forced into extremity by anyone. I now understand why the powerful person in the universe, after standing invincible in a star field, would choose to enter the depths of the universe. Indeed, invincible in a star field, there is no way to experience life and death, and strength will stagnate. Only by constantly taking risks and constantly challenging the existence of stronger, can strength continue to improve. Jian Wushuang clenched his hands. Unfortunately, I now have the crisis of Devil Cloud Star. I must be afraid of the early gods and cannot leave so freely, but in this star field, I should already be considered invincible. In this case, I wanted to experience the feeling of life and death. You can only go to the deepest part of the three major battlefields, and those places where even the masters will be frightened will go for a break. As for this red cloud world, I should also leave. Jian Wushuang squinted his eyes slightly, and his mind was determined. Master Fog. Jian Wushuang said loudly. A figure soon condenses in the void around Jian Wushuang, which is the master of fog in charge of everything in the Red Cloud realm. Little guy, ready to leave? Master Wu looked at Jian Wushuang. Well. Jian Wushuang nodded, "I'm progressing slowly on this island, and obviously has reached the bottleneck, and I can't comprehend the laws of the universe in a short time. In that case, staying here also it's useless, it's better to go outside and look for other opportunities. As for the test of the second day, I will come in again when I realize a little bit of the law of the universe. Okay, this is the token of the Red Cloud realm. With this token, you can come to this Red Cloud realm at any time in the future." Master Wu gave a token to Jian Wushuang. With the token, Jian Wushuang secretly rejoiced. After all, with this token, he can enter the Red Cloud realm at any time in the future. The many opportunities of this second world of the Red Cloud realm are very useful to him. Besides, I promised you before, let you pick some treasures that you can use, I will let you pick them now. Master Wu finished, turning over his hand. An ancient black tower immediately appeared in the hand. This black tower is divided into 3 floors and its structure is very unique. Hundreds of millions of treasures previously absorbed by the Red Cloud realm are located in this tower. The tower is divided into 3 floors. The first floor is the most trashy and lowest treasure. This kind of treasure will give you hundreds of thousands. Millions are fine. The second layer is a treasure of ordinary level, which is the strongest treasure in your star field. Let you choose 100 pieces. As for the third layer in the end, it is the strongest treasure of the highest level like your wing. Now there are only dozens left. I can only let you choose one. Are you satisfied? Master Wu looked at Jian Wushuang. End of this chapter. Chapter 3797. Satisfied, of course. Jian Wushuang nodded without hesitation, but his heart was ecstatic. Although the treasures on the first floor are in the eyes of Mr. Hayes, many of them are top-level and even top-level cosmic treasures. Such treasures are enough to drive the rulers crazy, some powerful peak treasures. In this star field, even the master will pay great attention. As for the second and third layers, let alone. The second layer, the strongest treasure, anyone is enough to make this star field many dominate eyes and even crazy, but the Mr. promised that the sword has 200 feet. The third layer, the best of the strongest treasures, dozens of pieces together, can be compared to a rule of treasures, although Master Wu promised to give one more, but Jian Wushuang has been very satisfied. Little guy, you can now enter this tower and choose it by yourself. With a wave of Master Wu, the 3-story black tower began to enlarge before the sword had no double sides, and soon it became a towering tower. Jian Wushuang did not hesitate and went directly into the tower. The first floor of the black tower is actually a dark space. Jian Wushuang did not see any treasure in this dark space, but an extremely detailed list of treasures appeared in his eyes. This list, information, it's too big. There is no way. After all, there are hundreds of millions of treasures here. There are hundreds of millions of treasures. Ordinary people are afraid that they will not record this piece of treasure on this list. It is too boring in the Red Cloud realm to make a hierarchy of these treasures, and also record the information of these treasures. Of course, the information of these treasures is only the simplest one, that is, the pure treasure name and its category. With so much information, Jian Wushuang naturally didn't bother to look at it carefully. He was directly at the top level of the treasure, and he randomly selected a full 100,000 pieces. These 100,000 pieces of the top-level treasure, all kinds of, have. 100,000 peaks should be enough. Jian Wushuang muttered. Pinnacle, of course, he didn't need it himself. But in the beginning, the divine realm was useful. After all, there is a potential threat from Devil Star in the beginning of the deities, and it will not take long for the top power of Devil Stars to feel that the entire deity of the deities must be fully united, and it will be a battle with the Devil Stars. The masters of many rules will also contribute. These peaks are definitely helpful to the rulers of the early gods, at least enough to increase the combat power of the rulers. As for the number of 100,000 pieces, Although Master Wu said that he would require hundreds of thousands, millions would be fine, but the rulers of the rule of the gods in the early days all add up, and it is estimated that there are only thousands. It may not be all good if you do take so many treasures and take too much out. After the first layer was selected, Jian Wushuang came to the second layer soon. The second layer of the treasures are the strongest treasures, including body armor, realm, flying, soul, and repression. Jian Wushuang also began to pick it up. The selection of these strongest treasures is mainly selected for the masters of the Xian Shinto, the Lord of Time and Space, the Lord of the Heavens and the Celestial Master, and the ancestors of the heavenly miracles. As for the Master, there can be several strongest treasures, which can definitely raise the strength to a whole new level. Soon the 100 pieces were the strongest treasures, and the sword was unparalleled, and the most powerful ones were attacking soldiers and armors, followed by the strongest treasures for auxiliary purposes such as flight and field. In addition, he also selected 40 pieces. Later, Jian Wushuang entered the third floor of the tower. Still in a dark space, there is still a treasure list appearing in front of the sword without double sides. However, the number of treasures in this list of treasures is much smaller than the first two layers. The total of the top treasures here is less than 100 pieces, but there is no doubt that the value of any of the strongest treasures in the third layer is very amazing, far above the ordinary strongest treasures in the second layer. The only treasure that can be selected in this third layer, Jian Wushuang, is intended for himself. After all, although he has enough treasures, there is still room for improvement. And a good treasure can also greatly improve his strength, just like Shuangguang Yantianyi. This Shuangguang Yantianyi has greatly increased his strength. Although the number of treasures in this third layer is not large, they are all in all aspects. Jian Wushuang looked at the treasure information on this list, but his eyes were getting brighter and brighter. Indeed, some of the treasures on this list have a lot to do with him. For example, Jian Wushuang now sees one of the most precious things, the Shadow Warframe. According to the information on this list about the Shadow Warframe, although it is only a body armor, its value is more valuable than the same level of field and flying treasures. The reason for this is that the Shadow Warframe itself is a rule of treasure. Although it is the lowest law treasure, the value is still very important. Later, after several battles, this Shadow Warframe has been damaged again and again. The power was greatly weakened, and when it was later disintegrated by bombardment, some people got the pieces of the Shadow Warframe and re-refined it, but the refining level was a little worse. Arcana, reduced to the level of the strongest universe arcana. Of course, even if it is no longer a rule of treasure, the power of this Shadow Demon Warframe is still far above the usual strongest treasure Warframe, at least more powerful than the sword unmatched Wujin Demon Armor. The predecessor of this Shadowcraft is the rule of treasure. Even after disintegration and refining, the power is much worse than before. After all, there is the foundation of the rule of treasure. No wonder its prohibition is more precious than the same level of field and flying many. Jian Wushuang secretly sighed. He considered this Shadow Warframe but gave it up. After all, he now has Wujin Demon Armor. Although the ability to protect the body is not as good as the Demon War Armor, it is not too bad. With his own body, he can already let him in this star. The realm is rampant, he does not need to pursue a stronger Arcana Warframe. As for the power of the Shadow Warframe itself, those powers certainly need certain conditions to be able to trigger. Like the Wujin Demon Armor, he barely was able to urge the second power, which is the blessing of 30% of the Demon Dragon. The Shadow Warframe has the foundation of the rule of treasure. It may be harder to provoke its power. He still does not know whether he can meet the requirements for his power. The 24th volume of the beginning of the Lord. This is the end of the beginning of the kingdom of God. Everyone will wait and see. End of this chapter. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.